The struggle is real for a lot of people. To lose the weight, it ain't easy. It really isn't. And especially because I think a lot of people don't really love what is healthy, because eating healthily really, for a lot of people, takes the joy out of eating. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about why we as people are so afraid of putting on weight. I had an experience myself that made me want to talk about this or find out some more about this. I didn't find out all that much, but I found out a little about it. So it's gonna be a short video, but I hope you're going to enjoy it nonetheless. And if you in general enjoy my videos, please remember to subscribe. I would really love to have you here. All your guys' support means the world to me. Just going to jump right into the video, and I'm going to talk about my own experience. I was on some psychiatric medicine that made me put on 4 to 5 pounds in a span of 2 to 3 months, and because I put on this weight, I began to be really afraid of getting fat, of getting overweight, because I know how unhealthy it is getting overweight, but I also really feared other people's judgments of me if I put on a little too much weight. So I also began to be kind of afraid of this kind of medicine. I didn't want to ever be put on a medicine where there's a high risk of me putting on weight again. A lot of my pants has gotten too small because I've put on weight, and I felt so ashamed about having to buy bigger pants. Luckily, I bought a new pair of pants, and my size has gone up. Usually I've been a size small and now I'm size medium, and maybe it doesn't sound like a lot to other people, but I've just noticed I really have a fear of putting on weight because I really have fear of becoming overweight, because A, it's unhealthy, and B, people will judge me. That's what I felt like. Then I kind of tried to look into why we are so afraid of putting on weight, and I found an article that talked about this. The desire to fit in and be accepted is part of what makes us human. Social and media pressure ups the ante and tantalizes us with their claim that if we fit the cultural ideal of beauty, then we will find greater acceptance, inclusion, and be more desirable. We believe the myths that media promulgates about how we should look, and the myth that the way to get there is to lose weight. So we are victims of cultural dictates. What I really found to be interesting about this is we really fear, as this person that wrote this article says, that we really fear that we aren't going to fit in. We really fear other people's judgment, and social media has a lot to do with why we are so afraid of putting on weight. I think there's two sides to this, because a lot of people put on weight and we all know it can be really hard losing that weight. But there's also the body positive movement that have kind of become toxic, because you should accept how you look. You should, not necessarily how you look, but you should accept who you are and be okay with who you are and how you look. But you should never be okay with putting on a lot of weight, because it's not healthy and that should not be the standard. But putting on weight is not the end of the world either. You should only start to worry when you become overweight, because then it's actually a problem. And what is not talked about enough is that you can also have fat around your organs. So you can be fat on the inside and you can be visibly fat where you're overweight. And you can't know if you're fat on the inside. So I just think for me that's really scary. And putting on weight is really scary because it's not socially accepted. You should be thin. Also, as they talk about these beauty standards, and if you even have like a tummy pulling a little over your pants because you're sitting down or something, which is totally natural, but just because of that, and because that's not the standard on Instagram and all these places, people tell me you can see beautiful people where it's been edited a lot on the photos, where it isn't how they actually look because it's been edited. And the famous person, I don't really know her that well, but I think it's Camila Cabello or something she's called. she actually, I don't know if it's Instagram, but she showed her body how it actually was. And I just thought that was so amazing. Because trying to get at it just made me so happy. Seeing how she wasn't afraid to show her normal body. I think all of these things are kind of entangled. And I think a lot of people are a little overweight. You should not accept when you become too heavy, because that's really dangerous for yourself. And if you don't do something about it, it's really slippery slope. You don't know if you'll die early. And you don't know if you're maybe not able to get out of bed and need help one day because you've got so bad. So I think everything is a balance, and having a little tummy and being a little overweight, that's not the end of the world. But when you begin to really become bigger, that's when it's a health risk, and then that is where it's okay to be concerned about it. But we shouldn't shame anybody for being overweight. We should try to help them, and if they won't accept our help, we can't do anything about that. But just think it's really important that we have this balance, and that we aren't so afraid of putting on a little weight, as long as you don't really begin to become overweight, because then it's a problem. But having a little extra fat or a little extra skin on the side or something, that's normal. And we should remember that these beauty standards aren't normal. They aren't what people look like. They're made by companies that wants us to feel bad about ourselves, so we buy more of the products. Whether it be tea that gets you to lose weight, or makeup, or whatever it might be. So I just think society really makes us to feel that we aren't normal when we actually are. It's just what society is portraying to us, that it's not normal. These beauty standards aren't normal. All these fake ass pictures out there. I wish more people just show us how they normally look, like Camilla did. I really honestly got so happy when I read that article about her showing her natural body, because like, yeah, that's a natural female body. And she wasn't afraid to show she hasn't got the biggest boobs. She wasn't afraid to show that her tummy was flapping over when she kind of sat in a certain position, because that's normal. She wasn't afraid to show that she had ass. I don't know what it is, but you know, when your certain parts of your body, for example your butt, bulks a little in certain places. I can't remember what it's called, but stuff like that and stretch marks are totally normal. I have so many stretch marks on my hips, because apparently it was a big thing for my body when my hips were growing. And I actually also remember it was a little painful. I have stretch marks there because my hips grew when I was younger, and that's totally normal. And we have to remember this and not be so afraid of small things like putting on weight. As long as you're not really beginning to get overweight, then it's not a problem. If you are a little overweight, that's not the end of the world. I think a lot of people are that. But when you really begin to put on weight and begin to weigh too much, that's when you should worry. That's when you should seek help to lose the weight, because the struggle is real for a lot of people to lose the weight. It ain't easy. It really isn't. And especially because I think a lot of people don't really love what is healthy, because eating healthily really, for a lot of people, takes the joy out of eating. So yeah, there's a lot of problems in all this, but just in general, as I always say, balance is the key. Being a little overweight is no problem, as long as you don't begin to get heavily overweight, because then that is when it gets dangerous. And remember that you don't have to live up to society's beauty standards, because they are unattainable, because they are basically made by companies who want you to feel insecure, so that you buy their products to become a better version of yourself, so you live up to the beauty standards. But the beauty standards is something you never live up to. You can live up to them if you're fake, if you put on a lot of makeup and filters and all that. And by the way, I'm not saying you're a fake person because you have makeup on. I'm just saying you are not showing how you actually look, because with makeup you can make yourself look a lot prettier than you actually do, and that can make other people feel insecure. Not you have every right to wear makeup. I'm just saying that this is what people see. they see this polished version of people that is not real, where they've taken everything from the right light, from the right angles, with makeup, tucking their belly in so they don't look as fake and all that. Guys, it became kind of a rant instead of a shorter video, which I thought it would have been. I really hope you enjoy it, and I hope you got something out of it, because that's just some thoughts that I have shared around why we are so afraid to put on weight. I couldn't find much about it, so much of it's just my own thoughts. But yeah, I really hope you got something out of this video, and I really hope to see you soon in another video. Bye guys.